I'm about to show you 5 plants that I literally tried to kill. No water for 3 weeks? They laughed. Freezing temperatures? They thrived. I even accidentally knocked one down a flight of stairs. Still growing, but plant number 3? It actually got more beautiful the worse I treated it. My name is Thomas, and if you're the person who kills succulents, yes, succulents, then this video will change your life. Because I used to be you. I once killed a snake plant. A snake plant. The plant that's supposed to survive nuclear winter. But then I found these 5 bulletproof plants, and one of them is so indestructible that NASA actually uses it in space stations. By the end of this video, you'll have 5 plants that will make you look like a gardening genius, even if you forget they exist for months at a time. Let me be brutally honest. I have a plant graveyard in my backyard. Literally hundreds of dollars worth of easy care plants that I managed to murder. Pothos? Dead. Spider plants? Crispy. Even a ZZ plant, the so-called impossible to kill plant. Somehow, I found a way. But everything changed when I discovered the torture test method that professional plant breeders use to identify truly indestructible plants. For 6 months, I put dozens of plants through absolute hell. No water, extreme heat, freezing cold, dark corners, accidental fertilizer overdoses. You name it, I did it. Only 5 plants passed every single torture test, and the results will shock you. In fact, one of these plants actually produces more oxygen when you neglect it than when you pamper it. I'll show you which one at the 8-minute mark, but first, let me introduce you to your new plant family. The 5 species that will make you feel like a plant whisperer, even if you've never kept anything green alive. Plant number 1. The zombie plant. Plant number 1. I call the zombie plant. And yes, it literally came back from the dead. This is the ZZ plant, and it's so tough that I've seen it survive things that would kill a cactus. This particular ZZ plant hasn't been watered in 47 days. 47 days. Look at it. Still glossy, still growing, still mocking every other plant in my collection. But here's the secret that even most plant experts don't know about ZZ plants. Underground. This plant is storing water and nutrients in these massive rhizomes. It's basically a plant camel. But here's where it gets interesting. Overwatering will kill it faster than a blowtorch. Same variety, same pot size. One got weekly watering, one got ignored for 2 months. Guess which one is thriving? The neglected one. And there's a scientific reason why that I'll explain when we get to plant number 4. Here's the best part. You can literally cut a leaf off, stick it in soil, and forget about it for 3 months. Come back and you'll have a new plant. It's like plant magic. I guarantee, and I mean guarantee, that if you kill a ZZ plant, you're probably overwatering it. This plant wants to be ignored. Plant number 2. The Phoenix plant. Plant number 2 earned the name Phoenix plant because I watched it rise from what I thought was certain death. Hook, the cast iron plant. And yes, it's literally named after metal because it's that tough. This plant was down to 3 yellow leaves. I thought it was dead. I literally threw it in the plant graveyard pile behind my shed. 3 months later, I found it like this. 14 new shoots, glossy green leaves, thriving in conditions that would kill most houseplants. But here's the crazy part. It was actually healthier after I abandoned it. And there's one specific condition where this plant not only survives, but actually gets stronger, and most people think it's impossible: deep shade. The darker, the better. While other plants are stretching toward light and getting leggy, the cast iron plant is getting more compact and beautiful. I measured the light levels where this plant thrives, 50-foot candles. That's darker than most office buildings. Your bathroom probably has more light. But wait until you see what happens when I show you the propagation trick that turns one $15 plant into 20 plants. One mature cast iron plant can be divided into dozens of new plants. Just dig it up, chop it apart with a knife, and replant. Each piece with roots becomes a new plant. It's like plant multiplication. Plant number 3. The Masochist plant. Plant number 3 is what I call the Masochist plant because it literally gets more beautiful the worse you treat it. The Jade plant. And I'm about to show you something that will blow your mind. same plant. Variety started at the same time. One got perfect care, regular water, perfect light, fertilizer. The other got abused, drought stress, harsh sun, complete neglect. Guess which one looks more expensive? The abused one. The stress actually triggered more compact growth, thicker stems, and these gorgeous red edges on the leaves. But here's where it gets really interesting. There's a specific stress technique that makes jade plants look like expensive bonsai, controlled drought stress. I water this plant only when the leaves start to wrinkle slightly, not when the soil is dry, when the plant tells me it's thirsty. This triggers something called CM photosynthesis that actually makes the plant more efficient and beautiful. Look at the difference: thick, waxy, colorful leaves versus thin, pale, stretched leaves. The stressed plant looks like it belongs in a $500 bonsai collection. Here's my controversial advice. If your jade plant looks perfect, you're probably killing it with kindness. PLNT number 4. The alien plant. Plant number 4 is what I call the alien plant because I'm convinced it's not from this planet. The snake plant. And it has a superpower that NASA discovered by accident. In the 1980s, NASA was testing plants for space stations and discovered something incredible about snake plants. They produce oxygen at night when every other plant is consuming it. But that's not even the most amazing part. Wait until you see what happens when I show you the neglect propagation method. This snake plant has been in my garage for 4 months. No natural light, watered twice, temperatures from 40 to 95 degrees. Look at it. Not only alive, but it's actually grown 3 new shoots. And here's the secret that explains why all these plants get better with neglect. When you stress these plants, they develop massive root systems searching for water and nutrients. A pampered plant has weak, surface roots. A stressed plant has roots like this that can survive anything. But here's the coolest part. You can cut a leaf into sections, stick them in dirt, and each piece becomes a new plant. One $20 snake plant can become 50 plants in a year. I've never seen a snake plant die from neglect. I've seen dozens die from too much attention. Peel into number 5. The time traveler plant. Plant number 5 I call the time traveler because it literally stores years of survival in its trunk. The ponytail palm. And it's not actually a palm, it's a desert succulent that's masquerading as a tree. This bulbous trunk? It's a water tank. This plant can store enough water to survive for years without a drop of rain. But here's the mind-blowing part. The older and more neglected it gets, the more valuable it becomes. A young ponytail palm costs $15. A mature, character-filled specimen can sell for $500 to $1,000. The difference? Time and stress. And there's one specific technique that ages these plants faster and creates that expensive, sculptural look. Strategic neglect combined with occasional drought shock. Water it heavily once a month, then ignore it completely. This creates the thick, sculptural trunk that collectors pay thousands for. But wait until you see what happens when I reveal the propagation secret that most people never discover. These little pups that grow around the base, each one can become a new plant. A mature ponytail palm is basically a plant factory producing dozens of babies every year. This is the only plant I know that gets more expensive the more you neglect it. The science behind bulletproof plants. Now, here's why these 5 plants are literally bulletproof. And it comes down to 3 survival adaptations that most plants don't have. There's actual science behind why these plants thrive on neglect. First, CM photosynthesis. While normal plants open their pores during the day and lose water, these plants open them at night when it's cooler and more humid. They're literally more efficient at survival. Second, water storage systems that would make a camel jealous. Thick leaves, bulbous roots, specialized stems. These plants are living water tanks. They store resources for the bad times. But the third adaptation is the game changer, and it explains why stress makes them beautiful. Stress hormones. When you abuse these plants with drought or harsh conditions, they produce hormones that actually improve their appearance and structure. These plants are literally designed to survive. Your worst plant parenting mistakes. The torture test results. Remember those torture tests I mentioned? Here are the results that will change how you think about plant care forever. 6 months of absolute plant abuse. And these 5 plants didn't just survive, they thrived. No. Water for 8 weeks, all 5 survived. Temperatures from 35 degrees Fahrenheit to 105 degrees Fahrenheit, no problem. Moved from full sun to deep shade, they adapted. Over-fertilized, under-fertilized, repotted roughly, they kept growing. But the most shocking result was what happened when I did absolutely nothing. These plants were completely forgotten in my garage for 3 months. No water, no light, no attention. Found them like this. Actually healthier than when I started. And that's when I realized the biggest secret about bulletproof plants. They don't just tolerate neglect, they prefer it. These plants evolved in harsh environments where pampering meant death. Now, here's how to set up each of these plants for maximum success with minimum effort. There's a specific setup that makes these plants even more bulletproof. Forget expensive potting soil. These plants want poor, fast-draining soil. I mix regular potting soil with perlite and sand, 50/30/20 ratio. Wait, if you want to know about your soil, so check this video. I guided completely about hidden soil problems and solutions through just simple DIY tests. But there's one ingredient that supercharges their drought tolerance: pumice. It holds just enough water for the roots, but drains immediately. These plants hate wet feet more than they hate drought. And here's the watering schedule that makes these plants immortal. Water only when the plant shows stress signs. For ZZ plants, when leaves start to dull. For Jade, when leaves wrinkle. For snake plants, when soil is bone dry and leaves feel less firm. Asterisk: the secret to bulletproof plants is learning to read their signals, not following a schedule. Here's the bonus secret that turns these bulletproof plants into a gold mine. Each of these plants is basically a plant-making machine. ZZ plant leaf propagation, 90% success rate. Cast iron division, 100% success rate. Jade cuttings, 95% success rate. Snake plant leaf sections, 85% success rate. Ponytail palm pups, 100% success rate. But there's one propagation technique that most people never try: water propagation for the drought-loving plants. Sounds backwards, but it works. Start cuttings in water, then transition to soil once roots develop. The plants establish faster and stronger. And here's the business opportunity that most people miss. One $15 ZZ plant can produce 20+ new plants in a year. That's $300 plus in new plants from one original purchase. People pay premium prices for hard-to-kill plants. These 5 plants can literally pay for your entire gardening hobby through propagation. If you've made it this far, you're ready to become the person who can't kill plants. But here's the final secret I've been saving. Remember my plant graveyard? Every single one of those dead plants was a species that requires consistent care and attention. The moment I switched to these bulletproof varieties, everything changed. And next week, I'm revealing the 5 plants that are the exact opposite of bulletproof. The ones that will die if you even look at them wrong. Hit subscribe and the notification bell because I'm creating the ultimate series on foolproof gardening. Comment below and tell me, which of these 5 bulletproof plants are you going to try first? And if you're already growing any of these plants, share your neglect stories in the comments. I want to hear about your plant survival miracles. Remember, the best plant parent isn't the one who cares the most. It's the one who chooses plants that match their lifestyle. These 5 plants will make you look like a green thumb genius, even if you forget they exist. Thanks for watching, and welcome to your new life as someone who can actually keep plants alive. Don't click away yet. If you love these bulletproof plants, you need to see this video where I reveal the container gardening mistakes that kill even the toughest plants. And this one shows you how to create a self-watering system that keeps any plant alive for months. Subscribe for weekly plant secrets that actually work for real people.